What if, without warning, without sound, without explosion, the sun simply vanished from the universe? No eclipse, no fading light, no gradual dimming in the sky. One moment it exists, the next it is gone. For exactly 1 minute. 60 seconds that would redefine everything humanity believes about stability, safety, and control. At first, nothing would seem wrong. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away from Earth, and light takes time to travel that distance. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds after the sun disappears, life on Earth would continue normally. Birds would fly, cars would move, people would scroll on their phones, completely unaware that the source of all light, warmth, and gravity in our solar system no longer exists. Then, without any transition, daylight would vanish. The sky would turn pitch black in the middle of the day, not like night, but darker. The moon would disappear. The stars would vanish. There would be no twilight, no sunset, just instant darkness across the entire planet at once. Streetlights would not react fast enough. Solar-powered systems would shut down immediately. Confusion would spread before fear even had time to form, as humanity tried to understand how the sun itself could simply be gone. Almost instantly, the cold would begin to creep in. The sun is Earth's primary heat source, and without it, the planet would start losing heat immediately. In just 1 minute, global temperatures would drop noticeably, not enough to freeze the oceans or turn the planet into ice, but enough to be felt everywhere at once. Winds would shift unpredictably, pressure systems would destabilize, and weather patterns would briefly fall into chaos. In colder regions, the sudden temperature change could be deadly for exposed life. Animals would sense the danger before humans could rationalize it, reacting with panic, silence, or flight. But darkness and cold are not the most dangerous consequences of the sun's disappearance. The real threat would be something invisible: gravity. The sun's immense gravitational pull is what keeps Earth locked in a stable orbit. The instant the sun vanishes, that pull disappears as well. Earth would no longer be orbiting anything. Instead, it would continue moving forward in a straight line through space at over 107,000 kilometers per hour. You would not feel this movement, and nothing on the surface would seem different, but the planet itself would have become a projectile, drifting blindly through the cosmos. The oceans would respond in subtle but powerful ways. Tides, influenced by both the moon and the sun, would suddenly change as solar gravity vanished. Massive pressure shifts would ripple through the seas, disturbing marine life that relies on gravitational stability to navigate. Deep-sea creatures, especially those sensitive to environmental changes, would experience disorientation almost instantly. The ocean would not rage with towering waves, but it would tremble in silence, adjusting to a reality it was never meant to face. Modern technology would struggle to cope. Satellites rely on precise gravitational balance and solar energy to function correctly. Some would lose orientation, others would experience brief system failures. Solar power grids would shut down immediately, forcing emergency systems to activate. GPS accuracy would decline, communication networks would glitch, airplanes would rely on backup navigation systems as their instruments momentarily struggled to recalibrate. For 1 minute, the digital world that humanity depends on would exist on the edge of collapse. Humans themselves would feel something deeper than fear. Those outside would look up and see a sky unlike anything in human history. Not night, but emptiness. No stars, no moon, just a black void overhead. Those indoors would feel it too, as animals reacted with panic and silence spread unnaturally. The human brain, evolved to depend on sunlight for rhythm and security, would struggle to process what was happening. This would not be simple fear, but existential dread, the sudden realization that the most constant object in our sky is not guaranteed to exist. Plants across the planet would also be affected. Photosynthesis, the process that sustains nearly all life on Earth, would halt instantly. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every forest would pause at the same moment. 1 minute without sunlight would not kill plant life, but it would interrupt a biological process that has been running continuously for billions of years. For 60 seconds, the lungs of the planet would go quiet, as if Earth itself was holding its breath. As the minute passed, Earth would continue drifting, moving nearly 1,800 kilometers away from its normal orbital path. In the vastness of space, that distance is small, but orbital mechanics are unforgiving. Even minor deviations can have lasting consequences. Then, just as suddenly as it vanished, the sun would return. Light would flood the planet once more. The sky would snap back to blue, warmth would begin to rise again. Systems would reboot, animals would calm, people would cheer, confused but relieved, believing the nightmare had ended. At first glance, it would seem like nothing lasting had happened, but Earth would not return perfectly to its original orbit. That slight displacement could subtly alter the planet's long-term behavior. Seasons might shift. Storms could become stronger or more erratic. Ocean currents might slowly change. Climate patterns could destabilize over decades or centuries. Not immediate destruction, but slow consequences, the kind that unfold quietly, long after the moment is forgotten. Psychologically, humanity would never recover from that minute. Religions would reinterpret their beliefs. Philosophers would rethink humanity's place in the universe. Scientists would rewrite models of cosmic stability, because for 60 seconds, the universe would have demonstrated how fragile our certainty really is. Our survival does not rest on human achievement, technology, or intelligence, but on a single star continuing to exist. The sun has burned for over 4.6 billion years. It is stable, reliable, and predictable. But the universe is vast, indifferent, and governed by forces far beyond human control. If the sun disappeared for 1 minute, Earth would survive, life would continue, but humanity would be permanently changed. That single minute would prove a terrifying truth. Our world is not owned, not protected, and not permanent. It is borrowed, and it exists only as long as the light remains.